honeybee colony just never gets old. It's a full sensory experience with the hum of 60 to 80,000 bees, the scent of honey and beeswax. If you were to open a hive, you would see that there are three bees, three types of bees. There's a queen bee, who's the mother bee. There's some drones, about 2,000 drones, which are the male bees. And as I said, about 60 to 80,000 worker bees, which are the queen's daughters. So the powerhouse in the hive is the queen. Season, you can count on the queen laying upwards of 1,600 to 2,000 eggs per day. So that's an extraordinary pace that she's laying eggs. And she has sole responsibility for increasing the masses within her hive. The queen might live for 2 or 3 years, but the worker bees, they have a relatively short lifespan, about 40 days. That picture here that you're seeing is of Foster Lee. He is a masterful beekeeper, and he doesn't seem to mind having bees, crawling on his face. If you're going to pet a bee, the one that was on his face would be a good one to start with, because that was a drone, and you could do that too if you're so inclined, because drones do not sting. Their sole responsibility is to mate with the queen. And did I tell you that there's just one queen in the hive? Well, she only mates once in her entire life. With 2,000 drones, they're your ultimate optimists. The worker bees, though, they're the ones that you're probably referencing as being, really busy, productive little beings. And they spend half their life living inside the hive as house bees, and the other half living outside as field bees. The frames that you see right there, that is a good picture of house bees. The golden center is a brood pattern that the queen has already laid eggs. And the bees that are attending to her, or attending to the brood, they would be nursery bees. They would also be feeding the young. You can see a little bit of wax pattern on the sides. That's a fairly new hive, and a little bit of honey towards the top. So they're housekeeping, they're caretaking, they may be guarding the hive. The other half of their lives, that's when they fly outside and they're visiting flowers and they're looking for blooms so that they can forage for food and bring back to the hive. They're looking for nectar from blooms, they're looking for pollen, and also water. So just as water is really important for our health, it's really important for the bees as well. If you want to do something really nice for the bees, you could just set out a dish of water. Change it frequently. Put a landing pad there so that they don't just do the deep dive into the water. And gardening. Just enjoy your gardens. Plant what you love. The bees will come and visit, and they will also take part in the process by pollinating your flowers and your vegetables. It's really important that bees have a food source that is very diverse. And so you're looking at the very first blooms are usually dandelions. If you can resist the temptation to cut that first bloom, that would be a lovely thing to do for the bees. And then right up through to late fall with goldenrod. When you have a season that has blooms that are non-stop, then you get something, you get honey that is varietal and collects from all those different food sources. And the honey that we have is wildflower honey. When bees swarm, that is an absolutely natural process for the bees. You want your bees to be healthy and strong. And that is nature's way for them to say, it's time for us to divide, to create a colony somewhere else. And of course, the beekeeper, they would just as soon have their bees managed. So this is another picture of Foster. He's managing his hive. It's a really strong hive. He's just putting another super on top so that the bees have space to grow upwards. He'll likely also divide that hive and create another one. It's much easier to manage from the ground than it is 25 feet up in the air, where bees tend to like to go whenever they are swarming. The bees have a deep connection with plants. They understand about legacy, and they literally connect one generation of plants to the next. We also have a real strong connection with bees, and that is that 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we take has probably been attributed to a honeybee or a pollinator of some sort. bringing that food to us. So I wanted to leave you with your own connection to the bees. I brought some wildflower honey and a stir stick, and this one is actually crystallized honey, so it won't drip as you're passing it around. And if you would like to try it, I'm just going to pass this on. If you have questions, come see me. I'd love to talk to you.